There we go. We're going to do a little scroll saw work here, folks. When Drew and I teach the scroll saw class at the Shopsmith National Woodworking Academy, we do a little fretwork. We do a little inlay, like the inlay up here, and we do a little marquetry. This is what we call our Tree of Life box. This is the top that will slide on. These are solid wood inlays that you can see. That's an oak leaf, and as you can see, it goes through to the inside. Same with the maple leaf on the end. Inlay we'll have to cover in another session, because today we're going to talk just about the marquetry on the lid here. This is actually a piece of veneer that is applied over the maple. Okay, this is I don't know if we can see this, but it's a really nice piece of bird's eye maple, and in that I have inlaid a veneer. This is mahogany veneer for the oak leaf, walnut veneer for the maple leaf, and cherry veneer for the elm leaf. That's the essence of marquetry. You're actually painting with wood. You're creating a mosaic, or a picture, with different colors of wood. Sometimes the woods are dyed. Sometimes you use different species. In this case, we're just using different species at different colors. It's a here's the veneers we'll be using today. Cherry. Actually, this is blistered cherry. Whew, that's pretty. Bird's eye maple, walnut, and ribbon mahogany. Okay, Drew's chosen some really nice veneers here. We're going to create what is called a marquetry pad. We're actually going to stack these up in such a way that they cannot move, and then we're going to cut them all at once. Let's creep up, Drew. If you can switch the cameras around, I'm going to work on the workbench here for just a minute and show you how to make the pad. It's not as simple as you might think, just stacking up the veneers. One of the things about making this pad is that if you're just cutting the veneer, this is so thin that if I had stacked these up and the cherry veneer was on the bottom, the cherry would be tearing out. So I've got to have this backed up. And because the saw on a scroll saw, which is what we're going to use to cut this, goes both ways, pulls up as well as down, we need another piece of plywood on the top to prevent tear out. So you've got to sandwich it in between. I have some 1/8-inch Baltic birch plywood. Okay, but that's not all there is to it either. Because if I just put this pad together and put tape around it, these pieces of veneer can shift inside the pad. So what I have to do is tape each piece of veneer down individually. So I'll take my mahogany, center it there on the bottom pad, put a piece of masking tape. Actually, folks, I'm not using masking tape. This is drafting tape. We did some veneering work a while back on one of the Sawdust sessions, and I explained to you why I use drafting tape. It has less stickum on it. If I used masking tape, it would have so much tack that it might pull up pieces of the veneer. Okay, now I've taped the mahogany to my plywood backing. Now I'm going to tape down the walnut. Each piece on this pad is taped individually and separately to the backing, so that no matter what I cut away from this when I'm cutting it, no one veneer will move. Okay, cherry on top of the walnut. It does not matter what order these things go into. You simply have to have a backing and a top, and somewhere in between you put some veneers. Now, how many colors of veneers you have, that depends upon your picture. In this case, I have 3 leaves and a background, so I've got 4 pieces of veneer. You'll say, well, okay, aren't you wasting an awful lot of veneer because you're just going to use 1 leaf from each veneer, and then you cut away all that stuff from the backing? Well, actually, that's the nice thing about this. I'm not making 1 piece of marquetry. I'm making 4. When I get this done, I will have 4 separate pieces of marquetry for other boxes or other applications. Now, each one will use a different veneer for the background. Each one will use a different veneer for the maple leaf. Each one will use a different veneer for the oak and the elm leaves. So they're all going to look different, but at the same time, they'll all match. I've seen one application where the gentleman glued up a pad of 4 veneers like I'm doing right now. He cut them all, assembled 4 pieces of marquetry, and then did book matching with those 4 pieces of marquetry in different colors. Spectacular, absolutely spectacular. So, all right, now we're going to treat the top of our stack exactly the same way we treated the veneers, and that is we're going to tape that individually to the back. Okay, but in this case, I'm putting a lot of pressure when I apply this tape. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this to squeeze those veneers as flat as I can make them. And I'm not only going to tape the middle, or the 2 ends of the backing, or the 2 sides of the backing. I'm going to tape the ends as well. Squeeze out all the air that I can between the veneers. There. That's how to assemble a marquetry pad. Now, you don't have to use the Baltic birch plywood. I prefer it, but many times I've gone to a framing store and bought the matting boards that you can get there. Sometimes they'll just let you walk away with their matting scraps. The matting boards is a very stiff cardboard board, and those make a good backing and top for these marquetry pads. Now, I've got some leaves here. My elm leaf, my maple leaf, and my oak leaf. If you go to the blackboard, you'll see that I've got a place where you can download a PDF file containing these, and then of course you can print them out at any size that you want. Oops, 7 minutes, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, it's number 7. What is the time, by the way, just so we know? 10:25. Okay, great. All right. Now, I'm going to arrange the leaves on this in a way. Here you can see what I did. I overlapped the leaves, and I'm going to do the same thing here, and trace each leaf on the wood. I'm going to start with the leaf that I want to appear on top of my marquetry pattern. In this case, it's the elm leaf. And now I'm going to ask you to, I know this is boring, but you're going to have to watch a man simply trace a pattern. Okay. There we go. We'll get to that. Dusty is jumping ahead of himself. He's asking me what size blade. You want something pretty small. Obviously, I'm going to use the double aught universal blade. Okay, now we're going to put the maple leaf on here. I'm going to cant the maple leaf at a slight angle, like it's just dropped off a tree. Trace this. If my wife, Mary Jane, would be here, she would be spending hours just arranging the leaves for the best effect. But we're just men. But we can change if we have to, I guess. Okay. Now the oak leaf. I did not trace the maple leaf I did not trace the line that would overlay the elm leaf. The oak leaf is going to go under the maple leaf, and it's going to have a little piece of the background showing. Whoop. Didn't get this quite up where I need it. There we go. One of the reasons why we when you come here to take the scroll saw class at the academy, we start you out on leaves, is because you can make all sorts of mistakes on leaves and it still looks like a leaf. Nature is wonderful that way. So. Okay, there is the traced oak leaf. And now, the next part of this, and this is probably the most important marquetry, is to figure out the order in which you need to cut out your marquetry shapes. I'm going to take and show you this board, and actually I'm going to come on the other side of the workbench so the board will be a little bit closer. And here we go. I want to show you something here. You cannot cut out the shapes arbitrarily. You cannot just go, okay, I'm going to cut out this, and then I'm going to cut out the oak leaf, and then I'm going to go back and do that. No, you can't. If you do that, things will not line up. Things will drop out. Things will shift. You have to cut from one side of this to the other and take pieces off in turn. Or from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top, right to left, left to right. You have to do it like this. So I'm going to do the elm leaf first, okay? Then I'm going to do the maple leaf, okay? Then I'm going to do this little tip of the oak leaf right there, okay? Then I'm going to do this little piece of the background right here. And then I'm going to cut out the oak leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple. In other words, I'm always working with the edge that I cut just recently. I cannot go and cut out the elm leaf and then over here and cut out the background and go back and cut out the maple leaf. It does not work this way. I can't stress that too much. You've got to work across your board. So I'm going to begin with the elm leaf. Actually, I'm going to number these. I'm going to number the elf leaf as number 1. The maple leaf is number 2. The tip of the oak leaf is number 3. The little teeny piece of background that hangs out by itself is number 4. And the oak leaf is number 5. I am a big proponent of labeling things, no matter how simple they may seem, because the minute you do it wrong, they don't seem simple anymore. So we're going to start with this, with the elm leaf, and I'm going to drill a hole, 1/16 of an inch hole, right here at the tip. That's where I'm going to insert my scroll saw blade. That hole is actually so small that you'll barely see it if you look for it when on the assembled marquetry, and in fact it may even be invisible if I want to fill it with a little stick shellac. Let's go over here, and of course, over here is off camera to you guys, but I will bring the scroll saw in. We flip up the top, relieve the pressure on the scroll saw. I've got a double-aught blade in here, and now comes the part that really tries your patience. You have to thread this blade through the hole. Okay. Fortunately, on a piece of marquetry, you only have to do this once. That's what we need to do next, Drew, is invent a jig that makes this simple. Okay, there we go. I didn't even have to lose my temper. Now you'll find as you're doing these marquetry, if you're working with these really tiny blades, they do break with an alarming frequency, and you're not doing anything wrong if you're using a 00 blade and it breaks. It just happens to be the nature of the beast. In something like this, you could go through 2 or 3 blades fairly easily. I'm getting over here and play. Whoop, that was wrong. I need some electricity that isn't hooked to a... okay, hang on. Drew's bringing me a... I thought I had a free extension cord here, and I don't. Let me get on camera so you can see me. We're looking for a place to suck some electricity out of. There we go. All right. Oh, yeah, we're anything if not goofy, huh? Okay, I'm going to start out about 5. Five seems to be cutting pretty well, but I'm going to speed this up at 6. I'm risking losing the blade, hoping to save us some time, because this is about as exciting as watching paint dry. Just to explain to you a little bit about why we're using a number 0 blade, is you can see that on each of these serrations along the edge of the maple leaf or the elm leaf, and it'll be the same for the maple leaf and the oak leaf, I have to make a 90-degree, sometimes as much as 120-degree turn. The smallest, or the largest blade with which you can do a 90-degree turn is a number 2. The double-aught blade makes these turns really nicely. You can't even see them. All right, that finishes the elm leaf. We're going to carefully lift the pieces out. No, I guess we're going to carefully drop the pieces out. Okay, my mistake. There we go. Let's see. We have, this is the top pad. This is the bottom pad, and these are all the little baby pads. Actually, these are the little veneers. There we go: mahogany, walnut, cherry, and maple. Okay, there we go. Cool, huh? And they are all absolutely identical, as are the holes that I left in the other pieces of veneer. Let's do a maple leaf. I tell you what, to save time, we're just going to do a two-leaf marquetry pad. But let's do the maple leaf next, and then I'll show you how to assemble the marquetry. You know, for some reason, when I'm doing marquetry, my tongue gets tired because I'm continually shoving my tongue against the side of my cheeks. And there's the maple leaf. Okay, now before we leave the scroll saw and assemble our two-leaf marquetry, there's something I want to show you because it can be very important. Now, if we were going to continue this, we would have some very small pieces to cut. Normally, like the tip of this oak leaf, or the little piece of background here. You know, look at how tiny those are. Okay, those are, yeah, there we go. Oh, you can see just how teeny tiny they are, and they can be lost really, really easily. So what you have to do to keep them from being lost is the equivalent of a zero clearance insert for the scroll saw. I'm going to remove the blade from the top chuck very briefly here, and okay. No, don't say that. He will. Okay. I'm going to take some. I'm going to take some masking tape and put that over the table here. I still have a little slit that this blade can work back and forth in. Okay, but I have covered up the hole, which is, believe me, is big enough for those teeny tiny pieces to drop down into. And both Drew and I, when we were making our first Tree of Life box, spent what? How many hours looking for those pieces in the sawdust on the floor? Literally hours. this keeps those pieces from dropping down. There we go. Now see, I'll tell you what, I'll cut out that one last little piece so you can see just what a brilliant idea this is. I still lost one on the floor. Okay, anyway, but I've got 3 out of 4 ain't bad. When I finished the cut, I was pushing a little too hard, and I had the blade pushed back, and as it came through the veneers, it sprung forward. But as you can see, at least I have proved to you that the pieces didn't fall through the table. Oh, there it is. I'll be darned. Okay. All right. Let's take this off the and go back over here to the workbench. Drew will probably now. I'm going to organize this so that I've got a lot of things here that could confuse me out of the way. All right. Here is my stack of maple leaves. All right. Minus. Notice I'm discarding the top and the bottom. Here is my stack of elm leaves. And once again, I'm discarding the top and the bottom. And here is my little stack of teeny tiny pieces that are just going to look strange when I assemble this, but you will get the idea. Okay, let's take the pad apart first of all. Okay, top of the pad, discard that. Here's our bird's eye maple. Remove that, put that over there. Let's drill out of the way. There's the cherry. There's the walnut. And there's the ribbon mahogany. Put the backing pad there. Okay, now. Time to get creative. Let's see. Let's do the. Let's do for this one. We'll do a ribbon mahogany back. Okay. Let's put in a bird's eye maple elm leaf. Now we're going to take a piece of the drafting tape, and I'm going to align that elm leaf with its cutout, and I'm going to just put it over the tip for right now Just a little piece to hold it in place. Now you'll say, what about the kerf? The fact of the matter is the kerf is so small that you just really can't see it. It's almost a non-issue. Let's take a walnut maple leaf and stick that in there. Little piece of drafting tape. Now, occasionally, and this may be one of those circumstances, you may need more than one piece of tape to hold something in place. I'm going to put a piece of tape top and bottom on this maple leaf, and while I'm at it, I think I'm going to come over here and redo the area right there around the now this piece of tape got wrinkled when I put it down, so I'm going to carefully peel it up. Notice, well, I guess you can't at the magnification that you're watching this, you can't notice that as I peeled that up I took absolutely no wood grain with me. Now it's time for some microsurgery here. I'm going to choose a piece of cherry that goes right in there. That's it. And we'll tape that in place. Okay. I'm going to go back and make sure that all the seams that I have created are taped. And the reason for this is we want to hold those pieces that make up the marquetry level with each other when we do the glue up. Okay? There we go. All right. Roll that to make sure that it's good and even. And there you go. That's now this is the side to which we would apply glue. We'd put veneer glue on this, clamp that down to our backing board, let it dry, and as you can see, the kerf is so small it's barely noticeable. In fact, since we use a dark glue, you barely see it at all. It blends right in with the wood when you put a finish on it. Folks, that's it. That's all it takes. And not only that, I've got four more here that or three more that I could assemble if I wanted to. So let's. We don't have time for questions here, but I want to walk back here and say hi to Bob.